And we are back. Here I am, Fly Navarro, and I'm with my dear friend Kevin Nakamuru. Kevin, how are you, sir?
Good, good. How are you doing?
Aloha.
Aloha.
Yeah, we got to give a big shout out. Kevin's on the Big Island in Hawaii, home of the 12 months out of the year Grander. But you have more to you than just Hawaii. You've been, you're quite the world traveler.
Yeah, I traveled a lot when I was younger with Peter Wright and Scotty Levin. I used to fish Australia and Madeira and been invited as a guest all over. So been really cool. Been retracing my steps, trying to have lightning strike twice, visiting, hoping the magic will happen again. So it's been fun.
Now, when you say you're trying to revisit your past from before, what's your game plan? What are you doing?
Well, I got a lot of special spots I liked. My wife's from Madeira, and we met there while I was there in the '90s, mid '90s, and her family's all there. And my good friend Tracy Melton still has a boat there, so we've been going back and putting it together, doing a couple weeks over there every year just to see my family and just prospect fishing early in the season for somebody that if it goes wide open, we'll have friends that'll use the boat and I just like to get my summer started over there now. So the last 4 years we've been going to Madeira and mostly hanging out with the family, and I work on the boat a little bit here and there, and then we fish a little bit. We caught a nice one last year. Um, but that's other than my full-time schedule here in Kona. That's one of the things that I do. And then I've been fishing in Cabo for the October window, the tournament season, and that's been amazing. We our sponsor got a new boat, and so we missed last season, but we're looking forward to this coming season.
So
So
that's listen, you got a lot of stuff going on in Kona itself. You don't just fish, you fish and hunt.
yep, yep. We've done that for a long time. When one's slow, the other one's keeping us busy. And, we got a 12-month season fishing here. So we don't fish 365 days, but when we're not booked, we fill in the blanks with hunting. And turkey season just started yesterday. So Matt's out, my partner, Matt Bowman, that also fishes, is out guiding today, and he does our turkey hunts, and it's real popular. A lot of guys are trying to get a turkey in every state, so it's kind of a popular month here. We get pretty booked. I think we're booked out to next year already
Wow.
on that. But we hunt a lot of the animals that were brought here in the 1700s for food, and they got loose on the island, and they're fun to hunt. It's a great addition to our fishing. We've been doing family trips where we hunt and fish for a week and then eat what we catch at the end. It's been a really cool thing. My wife's a chef, so she prepares these our favorite recipes for the sheep and the wild boar and that. And the fish is self-explanatory. So many ways to cook fish, but she's mastered cooking the game that we get. And the game can be a little tough because it's not farm raised, and so there's an art to it, and she does a good job with that. So that's always a fun night. The last night we're done fishing and hunting, we'll have a feast, and it's kind of a hobby of ours, but it turned into like something that really worked out cool.
Yeah, most fishermen are hunters as well. I've had a few hunters on the podcast, but
Great.
I'm really waiting for the summer months because that's when people want. Right now, everybody wants to listen about catching blue marlin.
Yeah.
But and listen, I get it, but right around July and August, um, people want to start hearing about, like, I've got a bunch of friends that do a lot of elk hunting. Hey, when do you
Oh
want me
yeah.
on the podcast? I go, we're going to wait until May or June so I can put you out in July and August when people are, they're out there catching marlin and they're dreaming of elk.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so let's do that. But being that we're on the hunting topic, for the people that aren't familiar with the hunting that you have available on the Big Island, can you let people know what some of the different species that you have there and what the time of year it is?
Yeah, our hunting season is year round as well. And what it is that a lot of the ranches we work with, it's primarily cattle. Um, but as it changes, they're diversifying and doing other things on the ranch. They're doing UTV, horseback riding, etc. And so we got these wild animals on the leases. So we pay a lease to lease the ranch, and to be honest, it really came about kind of unexpectedly. My partner passed away recently, but we're still in action. His outfitting company we work with is still underway, and we lease the land, and we self-manage the game, and it's year round. So we only take 20 black Hawaiian sheep, 20 goats, and we'll take 10 pigs, trophy pigs, boars, and we've got wild Vancouver bulls that we take 5 or 6 of, and of course turkey season. And the turkey season's real turkeys hunting is really good here, so we'll do a combo, sometimes a turkey sheep combo, but we've also got pure mouflon sheep here too. In one of our areas, we have them. They're a mix, but they qualify as a pure. But it's kind of, we have 4 different leases we work with, and we love working with some of them. Some of our foremans will come with us, and they're really cool to hang out with, and it's more like an experience, than a hunt, and it's a low pressure deal. The terrain's pretty doable, and it's accessible, so we're not hiking miles and miles. And the more you can hike, the better you'll do, but it's accessible. It's not like you're having a mission, with
Yeah.
packing stuff in and out. Some of them can be tough, but we can make it easy. So the combos really become fun. Like, we'll fish actually for a day of rest. If we have a long day hunting, we'll get out fishing and everybody take a nap, except for me, of course. But but um but yeah, it's worked out great.
What's the name of your outfitting service?
Um it's Hawaii Safaris.
Okay.
And Hawaii Safaris is who I've worked with for a long time, and then now I'm booking some of my own hunts as well, the
Okay.
packages and that. So,
All right.
but we continually guide for them. Um, but once the animals we're kind of tapped out for the year, we're sold out.
So then you won't book any more after that.
Yeah. So, we don't want to overhunt the areas. We want the hunting to stay high quality. And most of the hunts we do are in the fall and the spring. And then come summer, we're fishing every day. Matt and I. Matt runs the Sweet Sadie. He has a 37 Merit as well. So he has Sweet Sadie and I have the Northern Lights. And then we guide off-season fishing, but our season for fishing, I get back from Madeira in June, and we start July till the end of September. Usually, most years we're out every day till mid-September anyway, and then we start getting little breaks till I leave to Cabo in October. So, but we rest the areas in the summer, and some of the ranges where the animals come from, it's not a summer range, so they're not really, it's not the greatest hunting there anyway.
Okay.
And by fall, it's good to go out there and look and see what we got out there and make our plan for the year. If we've had drought problems, we've had normal stuff. Animals move; they're free range, so they're not in our area sometimes. So we don't book as many hunts. We'll if one thing's hunting better than the other, we recommend that to do instead.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
That's fair enough.
yeah, yeah.
That's fair enough. How many acres between the four leases? How many acres total are you looking over?
The quality areas, most of them are 4,000 acres.
Okay.
Uh, the high quality area on each place. But combined statewide at one time, we had over 100,000 acres we hunted
Holy
statewide.
smokes.
So I didn't guide statewide, but the operation was that big at one time. And so uh, the deer hunting is very good, was really, really good on Maui, but they've eradicated a lot of the deer, and we don't have a good lease anymore, which is disappointing because the axis deer hunt is really cool. It's what I really enjoy hunting. And I don't always shoot one now, but I just wait for the one. But it's fun to look at them, and they're beautiful animals. And Molokai and Lanai still have great hunting for deer. It's just we don't have an area that we hunt steadily. We have help guys we recommend and that, but for now we don't have a spot for that. But
Yeah,
I,
I've
I mostly I mostly have the Big Island covered.
I've had a couple of friends reach out to me and they want to do some axis deer. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
listen, if we're gonna go do some axis deer, we might as well go fishing a few days while we're at it.
There you go.
I'm not gonna go all the way out there and just shoot deer and not go fishing. Go hang out with my friends, really.
There you go.
I
You
mean,
you know so many people all over.
it's
Pretty
one,
cool.
it's something that I've been very blessed with. And it's one of the things I really enjoy. Even after I lived out there for those couple of years running the
Yeah.
Sapo, one of the
Yeah.
great things is anytime somebody calls me up, hey, you want to come fishing? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Come on. I never say no. I like to go out there and hang out and visit and make fun of Chris Choi a little bit. Chris had a hard time when he was docked next to me. I wrote him hard, man. But he was a young kid at the time. Listen, he's done really well. I'm very happy for him.
Yeah, done really well.
He's done really, really well. Let's start off with talking about when you started fishing. I mean, you were born on the Big Island, correct?
Yep, yep.
You were born on the Big Island. When did you start fishing?
I started going with my dad when I was old enough to walk, really. Like as soon as my mom could get a break, she sent me out fishing with my dad. And I hated it at the beginning. Like I couldn't stay out there all day. And I don't think my dad enjoyed it too much either those days because I just didn't I couldn't hang. Marlin fishing is what it is. And
Yeah.
for a little kid, it was like I bring all my toys and that with me and my lunch, and you know, it was just it was hard to learn, but around learn how to marlin fish. But after a while, like I slowly got over seasickness. I slowly got into it, and around maybe 8 or 9 years old, I it became a disease. I couldn't get enough of it, and it's pretty funny. My parents and I laugh at it now because it kept me on track. Because the first time I was fresh with them, they said, "All right, you're not going fishing this weekend," and I was like, "Ugh," and I tested them, so I didn't go, and they made me stay home, and they caught a bunch, and I was weak. That time
Oh,
on, they held that over me, and later years, what's kept me on track is I just believe in all this crazy stuff, and I think that karma, control, and luck is everything, and all the skill in the world can't beat a lucky fisherman. So
Amen to that, brother. I'd rather be lucky than good.
exactly. So we try to live right and do the right stuff and be kind and cool and hopefully that makes the fish bite. Not always, and you wonder like, geez, how in the hell? But fish are fish, man. They're hard to get to bite sometimes, but those are cool days. Like my dad and I um got too serious after a while and my family couldn't hang. They got worn out. So around high school, I started taking the boat out myself, and that was my summer job here. I'd fish for tuna and sell them, and
Okay.
that was a good summer job those days. Long hours and hard learning how to get them. A lot of trial and error and trying to earn the respect of somebody that would help me learn faster. And once I started to catch them, I started to get more help and the size hook, the leader, this and that. But at first, everybody makes you earn it. And you sit out there watching guys catch them and you're not getting them and it's hard. But eventually, you get a guy that's like, man, that kid's working hard out there. Better help him. And they tell me how deep to drop and, 40, 40. And I'm like, oh, drop to 40. Got him on. So those are good times. Like I think to myself, if I had to start over and try again, I was like, oh, I don't think I could do it for how
Yeah,
patient.
but there's something to be said about being 16, 17 years
Yep,
old. You have
yep,
that enthusiasm, you have that drive.
yep, yep. It seems like you either got it or you don't. Yeah, and like there's so many tests that I've been put through my time. I was telling somebody, oh, I've been fishing 30 years, and they're like, and kind of looked and I thought, wait, I've been charter fishing 40 years. I was going with McGrew and Freddie Rice when I was 15.
Really? Was he the
I
first
couldn't
person to give
believe
you an
how lucky.
opportunity?
What's that?
Was he the first one to give you a shot, a job?
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
yep. I was good friends with McGrew's sister, Freddie's daughter,
Okay.
in high school, and then just the common family connection. McGrew invited me to ride along, so I used to just ride along with them. I just couldn't believe how lucky I was to get to go with them. And then being parked right there next to Gene and all the other guys, eventually I slowly started getting a job. Now and then, those days it was hard to get a job. You just couldn't get you had teams like Marlin and Stymie. You had these 14-year teams, and for a kid to break into the scene was like impossible because the top boats just had great crews. You had Uncle Bobby and Fran together for a long time, years they were together, and to break into that was like really hard. You had to wait your turn, and now we're begging for somebody to want to go. Um,
Times change, man.
they do, and those eras of fishing were amazing too. And what they caught for what their of their time, the size and everything of the fish, and just incredible window. The 70s, 80s, those are good windows fishing here.
Listen, you guys have had a couple great years in the last three seasons. It's been phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I don't know, you're a great guy to talk about it with the way that fishing's changed. The modern numbers you see are legit numbers. And I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I'm a 40-year charter guy that if you lost one, you lost it.
Yeah.
You know, and you get him alongside and the captain misses a gaff, he rolls under and cuts off, you lost him. But now it's different. So these big numbers that are getting racked up here seem like I don't know what I was doing for 35 of the years. I just feel like how the hell didn't I catch 100 every year? But in reality, we did. Because Gene and I would release, tag and release 89, those kind of numbers, like right there at 100. And, the early days, we just couldn't get over the 100 mark. That was a big year. And now it's an easy year to get to have 100, because the rules changed, and I got some mates that fill in now and then, and they'll reach up, grab the leader, turn around like it's over, and they're like, "Okay, got him." I'm like, "No, you didn't get him. Keep going. You got to
Yeah.
finish that off. That's you're 30 feet away. You didn't catch that yet."
Bring
I
him
mean,
back.
geez.
Bring him in, man.
Well, I'm an old timer, I guess. Now I'm an old timer, and just cracking them off isn't catching them to me anymore. I mean,
Ah.
maybe it'll and at first I couldn't, I'm showing my age here, but I'm looking at these Instagram posts, and the boats are charging back, and they're doing a great job. And the mate grabs a leader, little Marlin jumps, snap, breaks off, and they go nuts in the cockpit. I'm like, wait, what's happening? Like, they lose that, or what's happening there? And they weren't even close to catching that. And no, 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 that's how they do it now. You just have to get the leader. I'm like, that wasn't even close. And so, oh, okay, so all we got to do is get the leader now. Oh, awesome. Well, that makes it a lot simpler, right? I
Yeah.
mean, so now we get the leader and we call it a release, and then we leader them up, and now it's a catch and release. So that's how I'm qualifying it for my own career. Because, I mean, you know how many marlin I lost on the leader?
A
I mean,
bunch.
oh my God, thousands, I would think, and where we're just like, and at one point recently, we have one come off on the leader, and my mate's like, "Oh, came off. Oh, dang it." I'm like, "No, no, you got him. Nowadays that counts."
You're
So,
excited now.
well, now I'm like, "Hey, all right, they changed it. We got an easier year." So now your numbers triple practically. And so, some of the guys here are doing a great job. I mean, they're crushing. I mean, it's been really cool to see the change lately. The Omnis changed everything. And some of the boats are just amazing at raising the fish. Captains are good at the machines. The Omnis really changed everything. And it was tough for a while. My Spencer has an Omni in it, so I know how effective that is. And we rarely strike out on that boat. And then I have my Merit that didn't have one for a while, and I just had to buy one. I had to, go dig deep in the pocket and owe a lot of money to
Oh my God, they're
keep
a
up
lot.
the
But the
keep
good
up.
thing is they're getting cheaper.
Yeah, yep, they are. But I mean, even at the price they're at, it's worth it. I mean, that's an amazing piece of machinery. I mean, and the guys that are really good at it, are really good at it, and
Yeah,
it's really cool. And then they're racking up some unbelievable numbers with that. It makes this place look different. The outlook of what we used to have to do. Um, and that's another point. Guys are starting to use really light leader to get them because they don't mind breaking them off. But see,
exactly.
our time we're trying to get a grander, like catch every grander that bites. And so, we bait and switched a lot here for a long time, light tackle fishing and record fishing, and it's really effective. And then that way you can pick what bait you pitch to the fish. But the really big ones, they give you a couple good shots at it. I mean, now and then you run into one that's really hungry, but they just won't switch. So, it's a tough decision what to do out there. Keep up in this numbers, crack him off game of 60-pound leader, snap, caught him, or try to
Catch
put a
your
fish in
thousand
the boat.
pounder.
Try to dust the grander off. And I don't enjoy the 130 fishing as much as I enjoy the lighter tackle. And then, this light leader, live beating, Opelu, and that has been fun, and catching the fish is fun. We have to chase them and fight them a lot more. And I really like it. I like all of it. My problem is I like to fish for everything. So my poor mates, they've got to know where everything is, and we're changing from the green stick to live pelu to troll to marlin fishing to ahi fishing, and then all of a sudden now let's go bottom fishing. I try to give them warning, but sometimes the signs show, and you just got to do what you got to do. Yeah,
No, no, listen, especially when you're charter fishing, you got to keep people busy,
yeah, yeah.
you know?
That's what I really enjoy. I enjoy charter fishing, and so in a charter situation, I'm trying to be consistent and catch one or two a day, and try to make them count. And then I'm not on this dream team situation where we're tournament fishing all year. There's a few boats doing a really good job. Epstein is really doing well. And he has great anglers, great sponsors, and they fish all year and practice for the tournament season. So by the time the season comes, they're well prepared, and they don't have any hey, will you run this lure, or man, we caught a big one on this one time. Can you run it? And yeah, sure. Uh, I never I like to help out and give them all I got, but then you're not doing the best you can because of the 100 lures I got on the counter. Only five of them are really biting at that time, seems like, and we've zeroed it into that, and we got a compromise to make everybody happy. You know,
That
um,
that's part of lure fishing.
it is.
Everybody
It's
has their favorite that they want to have out there.
Yep. And Pete always said, they don't care, they'll eat anything. And I agreed for a long time, but we'll have one Crampton tube, or a Polukai tube that they just come to over and over. So duh, put it out. Keep
Yeah.
putting it. We have this Crampton tube that the last 2 months has just been unreal. It doesn't matter where we have it, that they if I get them, I turn on one on the Omni, and I just look right there at that lure,
And
and
you know he's going to come up on that one.
it's the craziest color combination too, but I just put it back there, same. And some of my favorite lures don't bite sometimes, and you got to leave them in. And
You got to, but listen, you got to put out there what you believe in. Because
that's
if
it.
you believe in it, your heart's into it, as opposed to putting something you don't like and you're like, we ain't gonna see shit. Well, for that, you might as well come in. You might as well not go fishing, man.
Right.
If you don't believe in it, fuck it. Just go home.
Yeah, yeah,
Just go home.
yeah.
So, speaking of Peter, I was talking about Peter on Saturday. I talked to Charles Perry on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
So I'm so going to throw Charles under the bus on this one. I hate to do it because I love Charles. Charles is one of my dearest, dearest, dearest friends. Um, I, listen, you talk about how long you've been in this industry. I've been in this industry now 34 years. So
Wow.
growing up, when I'm like 19 or 20 years old, you're reading stories about Charles Perry.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the man? That is the fucking man.
Oh
So
yeah. They're my heroes. Those guys are still great friends and amazing.
yeah. So luckily for me, I met him on the dock one year and we've just become lifelong friends and we hang out. When I go to Carolina, I stay with him. So I emailed him and I'm like, hey, I want you to jump on my podcast. Hey man, the bluefins are biting great. I'm like, you didn't answer my question. Oh man, that's awesome. Any nice ones? Hey, by the way, what's your schedule look like? So I asked him like 3 times. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I pick up the phone on Saturday and I call him up. And the good thing about Charles is he's got so many fucking stories. You can tell me five,
Yeah.
and you still have like 5,000. So I'm not worried. A lot of people, even for you, for an example, I sent via text message because I don't want to spend 30 minutes catching up with you. I want to, hey, do you want to jump on? Let's catch up here. So whatever stories we have, hey, how's hunting season? It's all so people can listen to it. So finally, I talked to Charles. He's like, "Okay, I'll do it. Did you call Barky yet?" I go, "He's next on my list, but you are such a good friend. I wanted you the opportunity to tell me no before I called Barky." He goes, "I'll do it." And I says, I also got Skip on my list,
Right.
but I really wished I could have gotten Peter. He goes, "Oh my God, Peter could have talked to you for 2 hours, easy." I go, "Peter, I could have asked Peter, how do you test drag?" And he could have talked to me for 2 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
Peter was
Oh,
phenomenal, man. What a wealth of knowledge.
yeah, yeah. No, he was really cool to fish with. He was tough, and you talk about we're talking about release, the first fish I caught with those guys, I was all pumped up. We're on the Dyfkin and I'm with Scotty and Pete and trying to prove myself. They don't know me and I don't know who I'm gonna become or what. Like I gotta prove myself. And so leader comes up, the first one, Scotty says, you take this one. It was like a 400 pounder. And I get him and I'm doing a good job. Pete's coming back with the boat and it jumps on the leader. I hang on to him and it hits the water and it does a nosedive. And I just drop to the covering board and my armpit hits the corner of the covering board. Snap. I break the 029, I mean,
Oh,
sorry, 040 wire just broke. And I got reamed for that.
ugh,
And because the fish wasn't close enough to tag. Scotty's reaching out there to tag him and jump, but it did a nosedive. I should have let go.
yeah,
No, he said, "Oh, the only thing you're gonna do there is you're gonna break the leader, rip your arm out of the socket. Let that thing go." I got him with the boat, and
yeah,
oh, so big lesson in our teamwork evolved, and we became an unbelievable team. But that was my first one, and I broke the 040, and to break 040, you got to be pumped up. I mean, I was ready to go, and I just thought I got to hang on. This is only a 400 pounder. I'm here for Granders, and I broke it. So I never broke another leader, and then we dusted off some big ones together, and that teamwork and that whole thing with Pete was just unbelievable. And he just had a different style, he was a little bit old school, and so when we make mistakes, it wasn't as it is nowadays. You have to, you know, we go in timeout now. We got to take our guys in timeout, and the old days was like, God, yeah, Jesus, there's no timeout those days. It was knockout, you
oh
know.
my God,
And
that's
so
great.
we had good times. But once we got used to each other, it was fine. And then I learned a lot. I mean, of course, we didn't catch that fish. We broke him off.
Yeah,
That's that's the what I've been taught. And so now I'm in a different world. There's a different rule change. It's all different now. And that would have counted back then and would have, we didn't lose that many on the leader like that. It wasn't the kind of thing where we lost them. We'd get them and get them tagged, and they only counted if we tagged them. So that was Pete's whole thing. But that was fun.
listen, having him as a teacher is no better. I mean,
Yeah.
the amount of knowledge that he has, not just catching the fish, but the overall everything about the fish, the lifespan, what they eat, how they swim, why they swim, how you fight the fish. I met Pete and Scotty when I was 15 years old. Oh, what was his name? Richie and Christy Andrews.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Richie grew up here in West Palm Beach, and his captain, when he bought his first boat, Gordon Albritton,
Yeah, I know him
uh,
well.
I I used to work for Gordon's eldest son in high school.
All
So
right.
here I am, 15 years old, and everybody knew how much I love to go fishing. So we went to the old Buccaneer back before there was,
That was the
uh,
Mykonos, right? That boat.
yeah, they had the Mykonos.
Yeah, nice.
The first time I ever went trolling was on the Mykonos.
Unreal.
Yeah, that's
That's
where I learned how
cool.
to rig a ballyhoo for the very first time.
Very good. I didn't know that. Very
Yeah, just it's funny because where they kept the Mykonos was at the Palm Beach Yacht Club. I don't know if you've ever been to the Palm Beach Yacht
Yeah,
Club.
I visited them at the boat before.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have a friend that's going to a meeting there this week. I go, hey man, when you're there having lunch, can you do me a favor? He's like, what? I go, there used to be a picture of me on top of the bar. Can you check if it's still there? I was 19 years old.
Right on.
Yeah, so that goes to show you how small this world is. And Richie and Christy, who are super nice, or Christy, rest her soul. Richie's
Yeah.
still a great, great guy.
Yeah.
They were so nice. They invited me to go to the IGFA banquet when Mike Leach used to still run it. It was at the Breakers.
All right.
And I sat down with Peter Wright. He was right next to me. I was like, that's Peter Wright.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, the fact that you had so much time to not just fish with him, but fish and learn, fish under him. That's so killer.
Yeah. Probably the most valuable thing he taught us was to always figure that there was a better way. He always would be trying to reinvent stuff. And then if we had an idea about what we wanted to try, we had to prove it before we proved it on a fish. So, that was cool. That was like, you know, kind of professor stuff there. Okay, you got that hypothesis, let's go prove it, So we'd have to go break it and we'd crimp this and that and break it. And we had some, it was good education, really. I mean, because at that point, the basis of that, you just take that with any idea you have coming up. And I've come up with a lot of cool stuff that I've done since that changed my fishing and fishing here, with with a lot of with the stick and the tuna stick and
Yeah,
a lot of commercial fishing stuff um, evolved from what I learned with Pete, you know, and that whole the whole thing. I mean, there's a lot of testing and we'd break stuff and now we don't because guys are doing that now. They're testing their stuff and it didn't always wasn't always like that here because he did it because a great captain did it that way. It wasn't like, I got myself in trouble before because with no due respect to the captains, I'd be like, "Did they test it? Did you test it?" No. Well, how do you know then? Well, he gets them. I was like, well, you can crimp the same as he does and have it not hold like it does for him.
exactly.
Eventually, you get the call, hey, what were those crimps you were using? You know, we just broke a 800-pounder off. I was like, oh, well,
You never break 100 pounders.
well,
You always break 800, 900 big fish.
well, those ones are the ones that test you. So that upper level fish that's rare won't test you until you see one. So you wait 10 years, you get the shot at the one, and it tests your shit and it breaks. And oh, okay, we can learn now. Let's go learn. Or you
Mhm.
can fix it on day one, wait
Exactly.
10 years, get the shot and catch them. You'll get them. And so the gear got better. I mean, Amelon, things like that were all stuff that Pete loved, and it's still the best
Yeah.
for what I do. That's just amazing. And I haven't been able to prove it's not better. I haven't found anything better.
I
Um,
agree with you on that 100%.
Certain
Amelon tea is by far the best stuff out there.
It's just either a lucky formula or something, but it's a real hard case. And for hanging on to them, we got the right knots. I mean, we didn't have the right stuff at the beginning, but we evolved. Once we'd lose one, we'd be like, oh, we gotta work on this, and we work on it till it didn't break. And we've had some heartbreak on other lines in tournaments and I don't always get to make the call. I have to follow through and do my best with what we got. And there's times where I don't like the knot, I don't like the line, and then we lose $1 million fish, and I don't say a word, but I'm like, well, I knew that wasn't gonna work, because of all the testing I've done and all the different brands of line and things. You always try to find a line that's better, but a lot of times you can't find one. I mean, still they haven't, in my mind, haven't found a line that's better yet. So
They keep trying, and that's
yeah,
okay. Keep
yeah,
trying.
and now, I mean, you can get away with using 300-pound test, and the backings can all be 300, and it's just changed. I mean, you know how many fish we used to lose down in the spool, like, where it wouldn't be put on tight enough, or
Ooh,
this, that it would bind back down in the bottom and break. So now with 300 under there, it's not going to break, I
no.
mean, the front of it is still fresh in my mind, and then the back is where it gets all the work and gets frayed and drag chafe. You put up the drag on 300, it's not going to break. It's not going to drag chafe. It's not going to at the level that front can hold. So, you know, we suffered with that for all the years I light tackle fished. A lot of the records we chased are kind of too big now for us to try. And the anglers aren't around to charter us to do it anymore. It's turned into kind of a private thing. So I'm fly fishing for records, but conventional not so much anymore, because my anglers just aren't coming to do it as much. So, but but those are rule changes and things that we're like wondering how that got through it with all the records and things caught in the past. It just seemed like if you ask him a question about that, what he thinks. You know how many we lost deep in the spool, like,
Yeah.
and now you don't lose them, but now the fish are so big that it's hard to get them. I mean, you gotta but it fixed that problem we had. Like, we don't have that problem anymore if we're trying for them, because you got that 16, 20 feet of lineup in front that's going to stay fine, and the rest takes all the beating for you.
Yeah. That's what's
And
taking all the beating.
yeah, so it's just I'm not a chronic complainer, or
No,
I just have my vision of what I've been through. I mean, I fished hours and days and charters of, fishing hard with 6-pound casts, 2-pound casts, things like that. And um, we lost them and caught them and had good days, bad days, but it was a lot harder, I thought. But
it's frustrating. Uh, all that light tackle. I did it a lot when I lived in Venezuela because you had so many bites. But then
oh
again,
yeah,
you're talking about almost 30 years ago.
yeah,
So a lot of the records were still manageable.
yeah, yeah. No, that's a fun era. I mean, there's still quite a few records that are doable.
Yeah.
Um, and then I just have to wait till somebody will want to have me try for them. And
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I think the days of the charters wanting to go after them. I don't want to say it's over, but it's not. Most of those guys, if they really want to go after them, they buy a boat and they go do it.
yeah, yeah, and that's the way to do it, really. I mean, if you go and focus and you pick one and go for them with the same team, that's the way to do it. It's it's a professional team thing. It changed a little. A charter could come here and just by chance catch a record. I mean, my mom back in the 70s, when I was little, they used to fish tournaments, and fish IGFA rules, because they belong to the Hawaii Big Game Fishing Club. So they had a year-long tournament, and the biggest on 50 and biggest on 80 and this and that, biggest marlin, and they'd have the awards thing at the end of the year. And so my mom always took the rod to the chair herself, and it was a lot different than what I got now. I mean, it was pretty stone age in comparison because it was a skiff and they just were weekenders. But those days, a weekender could just luck into catching the right one on 50. My mom caught a 565-pound blue on 50
Wow.
back in 75. And so those days, that was a remarkable. Like, people were starting to fish 30 back then, but and Steve Zuckerman would fish with Uncle Bobby, and he'd fish 16 and 20 on the grounds, and they caught some unbelievable stuff. But it was just beginning, and it was all live aku, the skipjacks, and bait and switch hadn't come yet, and skipping them, they revolutionized light tackle fishing with that. But back then, you rig up a aku, put them out, and you try to do the best you can with them with 30 feet a leader. Yeah. And then my mom gets this marlin that it just, got hooked right on a big aku, and it came. We fought him for 2.5 hours on 50, but it just didn't do the wrongs. It did everything wrong, and we got it. My dad got it, and in the HIBT, she caught two world record ahi. One was 231 on 30, 231 on 80, and then the following year 250, broke her own record on 80. And those were just, you know, a regular old gal from Kona could get a record those days, and now it's harder. You gotta be more focused than she was. I mean, they love fishing and stuff, but it was a it was a hobby. It wasn't a job, And now you gotta make it your job to get them.
Yeah. Well, you have made it your job.
Well, I have now, yeah, but anglers wise, and I love to try for everybody. We've had fun. We recently caught a record on fly, and
What'd you get?
we got a spearfish on 12-pound tippet, and for Mrs. Tang,
Okay.
and Brian Tang is a really well-known fly fisherman. He fished tarpon a lot, 8 pound, and they're good anglers, really nice people. And she was fishing and caught one. We were trying for it a little bit, but she's mostly trying for a blue marlin on 12. And so when we were fighting the spearfish, I said, that is a record. Take your time on that. If we get them, you'll be able to apply that. And so they took their time. We didn't rush it too much, and we got it. And so that was fun. But that was
Nice.
a recent
What
try.
was it, vacant or
It was
okay.
vacant, and then that 16-pound is still vacant too. And 16, I've had everything in the world go wrong on that, like overtest.
Oh,
One time the spool flew off the reel, and we still caught the fish, but didn't count. I mean, you
oh,
you name it, it happened. But part of it is, I'm not a professional fishing team. I get a girl that'll try for one day here and there, and we got to do the best we can, and we hook them. And it was, I mean, one time you wouldn't believe this. We had one, Matt and I was fishing with Matt and his boss, and she put the fly in the water, and so next thing you know, she gets messed up on that rod. So Matt says, "Get the other rod, get the other rod." So what had happened was the fly went through the dredge. Um and so she pitched it into the dredge by accident. So we're like, just grab the other rod, grab the other rod. So she grabs the other rod, she picks it up, and we look back and a spearfish is jumping, and we're like, wait, we ain't even cast, and he's like, it's on the other rod. And the other rod was on the deck with the spool spinning out. So we dropped the other.
oh,
She picked up that one, and it didn't count, because we're still in gear, and it was through the
oh.
dredge. We had to untangle it, but she caught it. And so,
Of course she caught it. It didn't break. It's tangled up in the dredge because it wasn't gonna count.
yeah, so, oh, that was funny. But we
I'm
we had so much fun trying. And then it's a mission, we've caught a lot of fly caught spearfish here for slams, and some of the greatest fly fishing anglers have come and fished with me, and it's been great to connect with them and hear their stories, and learn about it from them. My one of my favorite weeks was with Nick Smith and Chip Schaefer.
I am
I
so
got
glad you mentioned him because I was going to ask you, have you got a chance to fish with him?
Oh yeah, I mean that was so fun.
He is amazing.
He is, and you know, um, it was unreal too because we fished 5 days. He gave it 5 days, and on day five, Chip's sitting up there. We had the greatest week. He's such a cool guy. I enjoyed that so much, and so Nick was ready to go the whole time, and so we get like to probably 1:30. Well, it was 10 o'clock on the last day. We raise one and we switch them, and it comes off. And Nick was pacing back and forth, like, scolding himself, like, how did I miss that? And Chip's telling him, Nick, relax. We'll get him, and I'm
Yeah.
telling him the same thing. We're gonna get him. We're gonna stay in this area, and so 2:30 comes, and we can only give it really till 5 or 4:30 or 5 o'clock. And he says, all right, Kev, what do we got to do? What do we got to do for next year? Can we lease the boat for a month, or what do we got to do? And I said, we're gonna get him. Let's worry about that at 4:30. And I'm just telling the truth because that's what I said. And
Yeah.
so like 2:35 comes, and there they are. There's a double. Two of them coming, chasing in, and Nick Cass got them,
Oh
and we
gosh.
got them. And that was so exciting because we had waited so long. If we got them the first day, we'd be all like, "Oh yeah," but we waited all the way till the end, and we got them. And then oh, that was such a rewarding thing. And then to believe like we did all the way till the end and get them is something we do on a charter almost every day. We have to do that.
Yeah.
It always meant a lot to me. I didn't ever not mean anything to me. It's got to be go or don't go, and hanging with him was just really cool. And then we're still great friends. But the only bummer about completing a mission like that is you don't see them much
Y-
anymore.
Yeah, they did what they wanted to do.
Yeah, yeah. Mission accomplished. On
Uh,
to the next
I,
goal.
I spoke with him last week. I'm trying to get him on the podcast.
All
I got
right.
I got Chip on last week,
Right
and,
on.
and we didn't talk anything about what they do on the old Reliable. We talked, a couple little things of what Chip is doing now, but Nick has a special place in my heart because growing up here in West Palm, he was the car dealer here. So you would see his commercials on TV all the time. And then I found out he was a fisherman. And, in elementary school, you would hear, he won the Derby, I think 9 years in a row
Wow.
by himself. No captain, no crew. Everybody else has got captains, they got mates. Not Nick. He'd just go out there by himself and kick everybody's ass.
Unreal. Well, he's real meticulous and really, really, pays attention.
Oh,
And that's rare.
phenomenal.
Yeah. Really
Phenomenal.
cool.
And
Cool.
what a nice guy, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I got to see him this October. See everybody, and it was fun to reconnect. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, another one of those people that I am so happy that I can say he's my friend,
Yeah. Yeah.
because he's one of those genuine nice guys that's taken our sport to so many new places.
Yep.
So guys like you and me, and it's weird to say that at our age, but it's because of guys like Nick.
Well, yeah, no, that's 100%. That's why, that's not like my normal charter situation. That's a professional team coming in using our boat as the vehicle to get it done. And then we start off with what they do, and I learned a lot of stuff being open to it all. And we learn from each other, and their connections and a lot of the way they do things really helped us know that we're on the right track. We were doing the same kind of system. And
Yeah.
then, those things are really cool. And teasing fish and how they put things together really helped us, to know that we're headed in the right direction. Like keep going that way. Don't change.
Again, it's good to it's one of the great things about our industry, especially now, because the world's gotten so small with social media and cell phones. We can all stay connected so easily
Yeah. Yeah.
that it's not uncommon. I had somebody text me today, "Hey, do you have time this week? I want to talk to you about something. I'm thinking of doing this. I was wondering if you can help me." And that's the great thing about our industry. All of us, you've earned it where people are now happy to help you. Like you were talking about when you were earlier, when you were 14 or 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you really putting your heart and soul into this? If you are, I'll help you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But
true.
now everybody knows that you have your heart and soul into it. You've got 45 years in, and they're like, "Hey, I see you're trying this. We've tried that. Have you considered this?"
Yep. Yep. And that's how we've gotten better. I mean, especially things like fly fishing, and that's been a fun thing that the boys and I do it for fun. Sometimes we want to go, and when it's biting, it's
Yeah.
all timing. The hardest thing here is, getting somebody the right timing. You get where they just go off. It happens everywhere. Like they're biting. Like you get 10 spearfish bites one day, and the next day you can go, right? Because you're here.
Yeah, you're
But if
not
you're
far.
somewhere far to get here in time, by that time it could change. And lately the fishing's been great, then slow. Great, then slow. It's been, you know, a struggle. The current is everything, and the current's been changing. And so one day it's great, and then one day not so good so much. So it's hard to call a guy like Nick and say, "Hey, hurry up, they're biting,"
Get your ass over here.
Yeah,
By the
yeah.
time he gets everything situated, jumps on a plane, it's not that easy.
It's risky, yeah.
Yeah.
So Roy Croniker comes a lot, and he'll come on last minute to he's on a quest to get 10 of each species on fly.
I think he just got it.
He's getting close.
Okay.
He
He's
was
on
gonna
his 10th, right? He's on his 10th
he's
slam.
trying to get 10, and he needed another spearfish or two, and he was gonna go to Majorca, but the weather was so bad that he almost came to Kona. But then in reality, I would have told them not to come because they're here, but they're not like enough to
To
get
make it
one.
worthwhile.
Yeah, we need to get a couple shots a day, and we're getting blue bites each day, and some stripes mix, but for some reason the spears haven't poured in yet. They're gonna come, and they'll be here in March, this month, April, sometime in that window the body will come, but so far they're just a few here and there. So
He just caught a Mediterranean swordfish, I think last night or the night before.
unreal. So the
Yeah.
weather got nice, and
Yeah.
he was headed for that. He wanted to do that, and so the plan B was going to be to come here, but then I got kind of booked too, so last minute. But it's if it had gone off, I sometimes when it's really going off, I call him to
Yeah.
see what he's up to, among other guys, and they some guys are checking in to see they need a spearfish, and we'll go and
You
try.
guys are definitely one of the most reliable spearfish places, um, which is cool. I know a couple of years back I went, and I just saw him on Saturday, Stefan Milans from France.
Uh-huh.
I'd caught the only billfish I hadn't caught was the Mediterranean billfish. And he's like, "Oh, let's go to my garden." He calls it his garden. And we went out and we caught one, about 12
Fun.
pounds. It was cute as hell.
I want to do that, and I missed it. My good friend Jonathan was I believe the first one to get them all as an
Really?
angler, and then he came to get his short bill here, and Matt actually helped me with that because I was booked the first day, and Matt got him one the first day. So
Really?
that changed a 5 day trip. It changed it, and he got two. Got one with me the next day. Then his wife got one with me the following day or the same day. But then he said, "Oh, only thing could be better is if we get a striped marlin." And then it was summer, and I'm like, "Nah, we're not gonna get a stripe." I'm just thinking in my mind. And I mean, would you believe we got her a striped marlin here in
Yes.
summer? I like the odds of
Yes.
it are like, but the vibe was so good because we had completed his slam. With Matt completed it. Matt got it done first day. He got all of them done, and including the Mediterranean. So then while we're sitting there, I'm like, I've gotten them all too. I got pictures of all of them and everything, but I didn't, as an angler, as a captain, I held them in my hand,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, that'd be cool if I could get one, a Mediterranean. Um, so he went to go get a second whole slam because he got two spears here and invited me to come. And I was in Madeira, so I could have just zipped over. But we had problems putting an Omni in there, and it was right during the window. I couldn't leave, and
Oh,
I couldn't, and he wound up getting one. So so
wow.
one year I'm gonna have to do that just
I
to
I
because
fished a tagging tournament in Morocco once, and they have an inshore division and offshore. The offshore is bluefin, the inshore is spearfish, and the guy that won the spearfish division caught 19 on one day and 22 on the second.
spearfish.
Spearfish.
Wow.
Absolutely corrupt. I didn't even know there was that many in the whole Med.
Yeah, that's unreal.
Yeah.
Really cool. I mean, that
Yeah.
explains it because a good friend of mine wanted to catch one that had a boat in Italy, and I sent him some lures. He went out the first day and he got one. So he called me all excited, like, "Your lures are working." I caught one right away. I'm like, "Wow, that's unreal." So he's lucky like that. I mean, he was
He didn't
really
know how
cool.
hard it was.
No, no, I bet he got one the first day he went. He might have
Uh,
got two. And I was like, that lucky guy, man,
it-
unreal.
I, uh, I, re- these are one of those stories very similar to like Choi's Monster. When I was out in Hawaii, we had the Sapo in the paint shed, and somebody says, "Hey, they're hanging a fish." Kai, Kai, Kai was on the what was it, the Nasty Habit,
Oh yeah,
and they were hanging that fish. And I walk out, I'm like, "Holy shit!" It was 12:11,
yeah,
and it was
yeah,
some guy and his girlfriend on a half day
yeah,
off a cruise ship, and I'm like, I know people that have gone 40 years to try to catch one that big,
yeah,
and half day, 15 minutes left at the green buoy.
yeah, yeah. We've had that too, and that's unreal because then you never see them again, or you never even really keep in touch. But that's a
No,
special, like, remarkable catch. But
they don't realize it's that remarkable.
yep, yep.
They
So
quit while they're ahead.
yeah, yeah.
So after fishing all those seasons with Peter, when did you go with him to Madeira?
I went on my own. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. We were in Australia in '94, and everybody was trying to get to Madeira. And '94, Scotty and I leased the Sea Baby here, and we did the season here together. My first try at being a captain,
Uh,
full time, and then so we had a really good summer here, and I just kind of geared up. I bought all my stuff that I needed to run it, and it was a good start. And come that whole summer here, everybody was talking about Madeira, Madeira, Madeira. and it was in Marlin magazine, and it happened to be in National Geographic, and I saw it. My parents got that, and I saw that, and I was like, wow. And they didn't talk about fishing, but I just saw that, seen that on there, and so we're in Australia now on the 94 season was slow, but we had a great season. We won all the events that we fished. I mean, started with Dunk Island and we went right up, and we even won the Lizard Island tournament. And that was a great year. That the fishing wasn't that great, but the whole summer we're there. I mean, the whole Australia season, everybody's talking about Madeira. And so Roddy's on the phone with Pete, and everybody's talking about it. And so Tracy Melton, I met down there in Australia a couple years before, was over there, and he said you got to go to Madeira with me. I said I'm going to be in Australia. I can't go. I got to be at Dunk Island. Well, I'm at Dunk Island, and Billy Bilson comes down and says Tracy just caught a grander in Madeira. And so those days, we're in the middle of nowhere, kind of Dunk Island, no phones, no social media. And it took a while to hear the story, but Tracy went to book him for the next year, and Roddy was booked. He was full. So
Wow.
there's no boats to charter. And so he did everything he could, hustling to get something going. We all were. I mean, everybody was. Pete, everybody was trying to figure out how to get something going. And Tracy happened to get it going. He found a partner. They found a humble boat, and sent me over there to go put it together. And I got there. I was like, "You got to be kidding me! This boat is not anywhere near ready to go." And that's where Barkey and Charles and you know James Roberts, they helped us big time, because we landed that boat in Madeira, and while the boat was being shipped on the ship, James had just arrived at the French Look, and they said, "Hey, you want to come out for the first day? We're just going to shake down." And while our boat was headed to Madeira from the mainland, we found it in Villamora. We jump on and we go out there, and I mean, it's like 11 o'clock. We get started, and Scotty, me, and Scotty's girlfriend at the time, and Mikey Latham was their mate that time, and we got out there, and wasn't even an hour and a half. We get a 700 pounder, and and I mean, on the way back, we almost gaffed the record for Scotty's girlfriend, because she did it all herself, and it was big. I mean, it was
Wow.
close to the record, and we had to wait for our boat, and it was one of the hardest starts ever, but we were on our way. And so the boat lands, we get the tower on it, and long story short, I mean, the motors were shot, and we're like limping along, but we're out there with all these big fish around, catching them. And every 10th one I figure we saw was over 1,000, or in that zone, like a 9 plus.
10% of your fish were, that's
And I mean,
awesome.
those days, guys were saying they just saw Grander, but you kind of believe them, because you're looking back there at these monsters. I mean, there were no 900 pounders. They're huge. And then we're catching them, measuring them, and so, guys are, we measured one time, and we're like, looks like we got a Grander. And they're like, oh no, that's not gonna make it. And then we wind up, it dies, was dead, and we pull him in, and the first one, I think on our 10th day, Scotty and I weighed at 1075. That
Wow.
died. It died. It wasn't our intention to kill it. It just
Yeah.
died. And earlier in the morning we caught a 850, in the same spot. So I learned my lesson. I left the spot. I got the 850, came back through there and got that big one. So I fished the area we saw them a lot more than you hear about guys getting them all up and down that coast. It was just incredible window. And then to be in the same ocean as Barkey and Stewart and Charles Spence and the teams they put together, watching them fish and just being there was like such a like really cool thing. And in recent times, Azores has gone off, and a lot of good teams have gone up there, and Cape Verde as well. These good teams attract each other. The fish bring them in, and
Yeah.
I remember like I follow things and I just I miss that where we were like a family. We were competing against each other for the fish, but really helped each other and learned from each other. And it was it was just a really cool time in history. I just at times we're pinching ourselves like we're trolling out there in flat calm water and there's bluefin tuna. This guy's got bluefin tuna he's working. This guy's hooked up to a 700 pounder. This guy's got three big eyes on at the same time. And you're just like, I mean, is this what heaven is? Is this
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Pinch me.
And
I'm
and then
dead.
we're limping along on this boat that barely was running, and catching them.
But you
And
were there.
we were there, and it didn't matter. Like I'll never probably catch more big fish on a boat than that one. And now Frothy has it, Pesca
Oh,
Grossa.
that's the Pesca Grossa.
Yeah. And
Okay.
Frothy does well with that boat,
He does really well.
Yeah, I'm really happy he has it and he's running it. And that's a humble boat that will continually get them. It's a wood boat and they love it, and we eventually repowered it, and 96 had a really good season. The fish were just biting, and you know that was incredible. I mean, 96, when they showed up in June, it was like just unreal. And we've seen that recently, with that Azores bite. It possibly Azores was better than what it was back then, but the quality of the fish. I mean,
I think
we
your quality was better in Madeira.
oh,
Quantity, Azores was really good.
really good. But like historically, to that point, it never had been seen before, and to be in the middle of that was incredible. And then the people that showed up to fish too, like Rich and Christy came, Ralph Christensen Jr. You just go down the list of the anglers that came to fish with us, and that's how I met a lot of these guys that are so well known and so famous to me. I'm like, geez, what am I? Is this real or what? I
Yeah.
had, I had anglers from 14 different countries come and fish at that time.
How cool is that, man?
Really cool. And it was like a time where we're the only one of the only charter boats. So, how'd you do it? Well, we just went straight. We did it straight up. We got the charter paperwork. We didn't try to go around anything. And it was hard on I was young at the time to go do all that, and I didn't speak Portuguese, and I was running down to the captaineer's office every morning for a whole season. And then 96 it kind of lightened up, and we were had our full paperwork, and never we thought we are never going to look back. But by 98 the fishing slowed way down. We only saw one, we only caught one in 98.
Wow.
So that was a tough season. We only saw eight and caught one. And by
Mm.
99, um, we were ready to we went and checked it out, but we didn't book anything. And then our charter business with no fish was non-existent at that point, and we kept the charter paperwork intact and everything. But 10 years later, Prati bought the boat and got started because the fish came back. They started to bite a little bit, and he got off to a great start. He won the World Cup, and that kind of got Madeira back. Felt like, and it's pretty good there still. The bait's not there like it used to be when we were there, but the fish come through in that June window, and then Frothy gets them. I mean, it's still a quality spot. And then it's just such a really nice place to visit that, you know, we love it. And my family's there, so it's not hard for me to be there.
No, it makes it easy for you. And that you said that's where you met your wife in Madeira?
Yep, yep. So um, it's a it's a really lucky thing. We've been married now 26 years and have two
Wow.
daughters. Almost
Congratulations.
one's almost a year away from graduating college, and my other one's a year away from getting her master's. So
You got
not
smart
my
kids too.
well, yeah, they must be taken after their mother.
I'm glad you said it.
I knew I beat you to that one. I knew you were gonna get me on that. But
Uh,
yeah, but those years, some remarkable stuff happened. I mean, like 96, they were wide open. I mean, and we were right there. We were on the first ones that came because we're ready that year. And my good friend Ken Corday caught an 1,100 pounder. We measured him, and I mean, I should have pulled him in. I mean, I didn't want to kill anything those days. It just was like the feeling was like, we'll get another one. It was like that. I'm telling you, like, oh, Grinder, right on, you got one. Okay, we'll just get another one. We thought that was gonna last forever. And
uh,
I mean, now that I know how it came down in the end, I probably would have slid that one in. It was tired, but we didn't gaff him or anything. But it had an 80-inch girth. I mean, this thing was a monster,
whoa.
and
80 inches.
it was just a huge fish. And he didn't want to kill it either, so he sponsors the TART tournament, tag and release tournament here for many years. It's a private tournament here in Kona. So he kind of he's real, release minded and so we let that one go. And so 97 comes and he comes back for the same dates and then on June 26th was the day he got the Grander. He brought a nice bottle of champagne and he pours everybody a glass of champagne and he toasts the fish. He does this long, nice toast and
Mm,
hope you're still out here, da da da. And so once the toast is finished, we kind of settle back in and we're trolling along and long rigger goes off. And so it's tight, then it's loose. It's tight, then it's loose. I'm like, what's going on down there? And I speed up a little bit and it's tight again. Like, what's happening? What's happening? And they go to the chair and he's like, oh, it's gone. And he's reeling. And they're like, no, 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 it's there. And I'm like, make up your mind. What's going on? He's like, no, 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 it's there. And then here comes the leader. So I see the swivel come in, and we still got all the lures out, right? But Hoggy had reeled in the long corner, and that's inside the long rigger, right? So
Yeah.
the fish chased that lure in and was chasing it the whole time while he was reeling in. So the swivel comes out of the water, and I'm like, what's going on? I look over and there's a big marlin there, and I go, oh, it's a marlin. We thought spearfish or some rubbish or something, and I said it's a big one. It's like looks like a 600-700 pounder, and so Hoggy like pulls the lure, the long corner lure in, and the
Yeah.
swivel's still at the tip, and I go grab it, I guess. So he reaches out, grabs it, and pulls hard, and wow, takes off screaming. So we're
Then it
like,
realized.
and so long story short, we fight this fish, never see it, never jumps, nothing. And so it's coming up on the leader, and I look down, I'm like, oh my goodness, look at that thing. And it's just really tired. And it's coming up. How he gets the leader, swims up alongside, rolls over, dead. I mean, stone dead by the side of the boat. So I measure it and I'm like, holy moly, it's a big grander. Like not just a regular
It, it,
grander.
it ain't just a regular 1-0.
Yeah. So we put the snooter on them and try to revive it. And then we're talking about it while we're reviving it. And I'm like, let's just bring this one in. So that one was 1170. So, that one
Wow.
had a white marlin in its stomach. And Ken goes, you know what today is? And I'm like, what? And he's like, This is the anniversary of the one we got last year.
Come on.
Two.
On the
That's
same
one of the
day.
craziest stories I've got for, you know, like a coincidental, like
Oh my
crazy.
God, how cool is that?
And I mean, guys can say nowadays, oh, we had a grander 9 plus this and that, and I trust it, but I'm telling you, like we had to measure those fish. They had to be in the 140s, to claim them, and we lost them too. They came off on the leader, so I mean, they didn't count those days, like
Yeah.
they count now, but you lose one on the leader, you get them on film and this and that, and all of a sudden, wow, it counts. And how does it count? It's a new era, right? We're gonna let that go through, I guess. I don't know. You gonna let that through? Are you in charge?
Now, are you asking me as a tournament director? Or are you asking me as a fisherman? So
Well,
here's my thing, and I've talked to because at least on the podcast, I have a lot of guys our age,
uh-huh.
and and there's a lot of kids, and I'm calling them kids, and it's no disrespect. They're 30 and 40 years old, so I'm calling them kids, but they're grown men. They've earned it, and they're catching like you're talking about catching 100 in a year. Uh, that was our goal every year in St. Thomas to catch 100. That's a
Yep.
lot. That was a lot of fish.
Oh yeah.
Now these guys are catching 100 in a month.
Yep.
And I see it on Facebook where that doesn't count because you're fishing for them on fads or whatever. I, I'm not here to um, argue what your rules are. If that's the rules you decide to play in, I'm okay. I'm cool with it. I'm not going to compare my 100 in a season to your 300 in a season. I'm not going to do it. I'm happy that you caught it. As a fisherman, you're doing the best job with what is being called for in this era. And now, if we change it, and now I have new rules to play with, I'm going to play in those new rules. I'm not going to sit here and use my old rules to compete with you
Right.
and your
Right.
new rules.
Exactly.
So I fucking good on you. You're a fisherman. You're catching them. If that's what you call a release, I, I'm good. I'm good with it. I'm not going to critique you because here's the other thing. I'm also old enough to remember where everybody in the fleet used to only do 16 knots. And then when that one guy was doing 32, oh, it's not fair because he gets an extra 2 hours of fishing. I I remember those days.
Yep.
And then before you know it, everybody's catching or everybody's running 30 knots.
Well, I know.
I remember when going out fishing dredges, not everybody had dredges. I remember when I showed up in Hawaii, I had my dredge in one hand and green squids in the other. And he goes, "What the fuck are you gonna do with that?" And I go, "This is how I fish." He goes, "Well, all you're gonna do is feed them." And I'm like, "At least they came up."
No, now everybody does it.
Everybody
Everybody
does it.
has two dredges out.
Exactly. So
I know I'm on your, I know I'm on your podcast,
yeah,
but I'm going to ask you another question.
please do.
What do you think about the difference between when we had to fish with no Omni and the numbers getting racked up with the Omni? It's only been here in Kona 6 years, and these remarkable numbers are getting hit with a machine that is remarkable itself, unbelievable. So now it makes a guy like me that put all those days in and like tried to hit 100 and would get them. We'd get 100 now and then. And you know, Marlin, me, and Gene, those days were all trying to get 100, and Gene would get them, but only a handful of times. It wasn't
Yeah.
like you get 'em every year, and you come close, but you just couldn't quite get them. Like if it bit good in December, maybe you get them, but now 100, like you said, 100 in a month. Like
Yeah.
everybody's got 49 in 1 month here recently, like in December. James,
Wow. In
after
this
they,
in
yeah,
December.
they're crushing. and they legit catch them too. Like
Yeah.
they're getting the leader on them, and they're doing a great job.
Yeah. No, here's my thing. We are, again, I think you're about 9 years older than me. I'm 52. What are you, 60?
I'm 58.
Okay. So shit, you're 6 years older than me. I knew you were something like that. Um, I think you and I, our era, we are so fortunate. We are very, very lucky. And I'm not even talking about just fishing. We are old enough, what it was, kids nowadays don't understand this. And you will understand this. Dad, are we going fishing tomorrow? I'm waiting for a call in the morning. As soon as I get the call, we can go. And he gets the call at 11:30 in the morning from the landline that we have to sit by all fucking morning long before we can go fishing. These kids don't know that. So we are old enough to see landline, faxes, now emails, now AI's coming. Things are just happening faster and faster. What if we are lucky, we're going to get another 30 years.
Yeah.
I'm using the word lucky. We're going to take care of ourselves. We're eating better. I'm not drinking anymore. I gave that shit up 20 years ago. But we're exercising. We're whatever we're doing to try to last longer. So if we're lucky, we're going to see another 30 years of what is going to happen in our industry. And with that being said, that's why I'm not so critical. It's very easy, and I'm on a couple of group chats, and when they're listening, I'm sure they're going to call me up. I'm not outing anybody's name. You guys are a bunch of grumpy old captains, and we're all the same age. We're all the same age, and um, I'm just like, no, I don't want to judge. I want to be curious. I'm using Ted Lasso. Anybody that watches Ted Lasso, I'm
Yeah.
trying to be curious. I'm not trying to judge. I want to be curious. I know what I did when I did it. I'm very proud of what I did. I know I worked my ass off. I love it because it's made me the man that I am today. It's taught me the things that I do today. But also at the same time, I enjoy watching what these young kids are doing.
Me
Uh,
too.
I really, really do, and
Honest, me
I
too.
applaud them. I so applaud them. Could I sit there and critique? Well, that's not how I used to. Whatever. I listen. Listen. I used to shove a coal into my engine room for Captain Eddie. I'd go down in that Marriott from my coal room and shove a coal in the fucking engine.
It's funny.
Whatever. I'm happy I did it when I did it, and I'm s- and I've said it on the podcast before. I'll say it again. The only thing that I'm missing now with what I'm doing now is I don't get the opportunity to spend the time on the docks to meet the young guys. I've met a lot of the young guys back when I was 30, and I met those 14-year-old kids that wanted to wash the boat. Fly, what'd you catch today? Hey, if you want to talk, grab the fucking chamois, and I'll talk to you all day long, but grab the fucking chamois. And they know who they're talking because they text me the other day. So Stevie Keneally and Kyle Sherman, I know you're listening. Um, that's what they did when they were 14 years old, and now they're out there doing that. They're out there doing it. So I love that they've, hey, how do I remember when Bobby Brown gave us his idea on circle hooks. I was using circle hooks in Venezuela. Then we went to Cancun, and Bobby, there was like four of us. Bobby said, hey, try this. And we tried that. And it was so cool. It changed so many things that we were doing. What you see on the rigger swivels now, that originated by what Bobby Brown says. Why don't you try like this with the wire? And it's like, wow. So I've seen the progression, and I don't want to be judgmental. I want to be curious. I
Yeah.
really, again, deep down inside, this is what I tell everybody, and I love when I tell them that. I am a fisherman. I'm not a blue marlin fisherman. I'm not a sail fisherman. I'm not a snook fisherman. I'm a fisherman. My job is to catch as many fucking fish as possible every day I go on the water.
Very good. Yeah.
Whatever your rules that you put around it, I'm going to work within those rules. But I'm going to try to catch more fish than you every fucking day. Now, if you get more than me, good on you. That just means tomorrow I got to work harder.
That's true.
Yeah. And
Way
I
to look at it
never,
all.
all my friends that I've fished with, I've never ever asked for, I hope you catch less than me. All I've ever asked for is that I catch more than you. If you hook one, if you and I are at 10 and 10 and you hook one to make you 11, I don't hope that you pull them off. I'm like, fuck, I need 12.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the way I look at it. So, and that's something I'm passionate about because it makes our industry better.
Yeah, it does. It's unreal. And I mean, years ago already, I wasn't like giving up, but I was more involved in trying to get the next best guys, like got captains like Tracy Epstein, Matt Bowman. These guys are hammers now, and I take so much pride in that. And they're supposed to beat me. I mean, they're clones, and then they're smart, they're young, and they hustle, and they have the hustle that I have still. I mean, I still work hard out there, still catch a bunch, um, and I'm trying to evolve. And I had to go buy a machine. I had to go buy an Omni, put it in my boat to not embarrass myself. I mean, these kids are crushing them because I had the Kona record 3 times, eight blues 3 times, and the closest was 7 one time. And so up until 6 years ago, all of a sudden, guys are catching 14 or 10, but they're not getting tags in them, or even, some of them I don't even think who knows, I don't know how they qualify it. That's how they're just the end of the day numbers 14. Well, do
Yeah.
we break them? Do we tag them? We had to tag them. And so that's when, one day with the David family, we had 8 blues and
Jimmy
and
David?
yeah,
Okay, cool, cool. Jimmy's
Jimmy's
man,
family.
that's
First
that's
day,
that's a
first
fucking
day.
fishing family, dude.
Oh yeah, they're so cool. And Jimmy tells me the first day, yeah, we want to fish, but can we leave at 8? I'm like, I don't know him yet. And I'm like, 8 o'clock. I want to go early, man. Let's go. It's biting, because it was biting, trolling. And I had Matt Bowman and Dingo.
Oh, you
Jared
had Dingo with you.
Dingo was fishing with us that summer. And so I had a great team. And Dingo convinced me to bait and switch them because they were going off. I mean, it was biting.
Yeah.
So I let him set up, he rigged the baits, he did everything, and I learned a lot really from him. It was a little different than what I was doing at the time. And so Jimmy comes at 8, and his family comes on board, and what they were doing was waiting for their uncle to fly in from Maui to join them. And
Okay.
so James was only 10 at the time, and Laurel was what, 8 at the time. And we go out there and have that kind of day. James caught one right away with the dingo switched, and then Deb caught the next one, and then we're like, all right, we got 2 by like 10 o'clock. And so we sailed up. My friends are coming back from OTEC, and it was going off. And we got up there late. And then because we started late, I could justify in my mind, oh, we can stay late.
Yeah.
We stayed out there. There's such a fishy family. We stayed till 8 o'clock out there. It was dark. We
Wow.
caught the last ahi on a live bait at 8 o'clock at night. It was dark, just almost pitch dark. Got one. And then I said, all right, let's go. We got in at 10 o'clock. We took it easy coming in. But you know, that family was just unreal. We spent a lot of cool summers here. They came a bunch of years after because the kids were little, but once the kids grew up a little bit, they could travel and they've
Yeah.
just done so well. And I fished on the LNH with my family this October. I was over for the Tommy Gifford Award, so we made it, any excuse we could to see all our friends and try to, we wanted I wanted my family to see the LNH and all what they spent so many summers here. We finally got to fish with them, and the whole family was able to make it the day we went, and it was so fun.
How cool is that?
And I mean, you want to talk about our connection, like, so we get eight marlin and six ahi that day, and years later, I went to do a seminar for Skip at the IGFA, and I stayed with the Davids. And Jimmy said, "Let's. I want to take you sail fishing because I never caught a sailfish before." Well, I think I caught one with them a year before, but we went again on the LNH, and
Did he return the favor and get you like 80 of them?
well, we caught 34
Okay.
out of Miami. And it was his best day at the time. It was his best day. And like
I'm
we're like,
telling you, he's a fishy motherfucker, dude.
what in the hell? I mean, but like I'm Deb was pregnant with Christopher Marlin, and she fished all day pregnant, like, with me
Yeah.
standing behind the chair. Okay, got one. And then James and Jimmy's mate were keeping up with it all, and Laurel was catching them, and it was like, I mean, incredible to see what they do. And then I was thinking, oh, this is what they do all the time. And then Jimmy's like, if we get one more, we got the record. Or no, we'll tie the record. And so he backed up to the last one and got it. And he's like, all right, we're gonna stop right here. We're gonna tie the boat record. And so it
That
was
boat
amazing.
has some fucking history, dude.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That boat has some history. Because before him was John Louis Sr.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that man right there, his middle name is Hoover Vacuum Cleaner, man.
Well, well, it's one of those iconic boats that with great teams and the
Yeah.
Davids do a great job. I mean, we co-pollinate charters, and it Jimmy makes it. He catches a lot of fish. I mean, we had so much fun, and we timed it good again. I think we caught a bunch of mai, and my daughter caught a sailfish, and but to have our families together on the boat was really cool. After that connection years ago, it was Matt Bowman's first season with me too, and
Really?
he hit that number. Tracy Epstein and his dad Stymie were with me on the first two times we caught eight. But in modern times with the Omni, boats are catching eight pretty often. It's not a big deal anymore.
It's I
It's
don't want to
bigger.
say it's standard practice, but it's become more common.
Yep. And guys are actually legit catching them. Some
Yeah.
guys they're losing them on the leader, but I think the odd day somebody gets nine, like James and Jack Leverone on the Huntress just caught 10.
Did they
And it was all
really?
legit, 100%. They leadered them up, got them, undid them. It wasn't a snap off day. It was a legit 10 that they got. And you know, I know some guys better than others, and I know they'll tell me, no, we got them all. I'll believe them. And not that
Go,
it matters. It doesn't really matter that.
gone are the days. Should I go left or right? Let me grab my binoculars. Oh,
well,
look, there's one bird. I'll go that direction.
well, now there's a team of boats looking with the Omni, and everybody's kind of finding the bodies of them that we
Yeah.
couldn't find easily before. And the networks of guys that are working together. Oh, well, I got them here. I'm marking a lot of fish over here. They sail over there. Next thing, they're all marking them. Next thing, they all start biting.
Yeah.
Next, they had a couple of wild bites. I mean, this winter, I was out of position. I had 5 shots, caught two, but then that's the day Jack caught 10. They were out in the deep, somewhere far out, right
Wow.
where no one would expect them, but they found them and they nailed them, you know. And that's cool to see too. He's a good young captain too. He's
He- he's
Jack.
crushing. He's
Yeah,
crushing them.
yeah, he's doing really well. So
I
really
was talking
cool.
to somebody last week. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head. I was talking to somebody and we were talking about the Omnis, and they specifically brought up Steve Lasley, and Steve, who is like the godfather when it comes to Omnis. That guy will tell you, oh, that guy over there, he's eating an egg salad sandwich. I can tell on the Omni. I mean, that's how good he is with that fucking Omni. And fuck, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. They said they had a conversation with Steve, and Steve's like, "Listen, guys, when the Omni hits the main body of fishermen in our industry, it's going to totally change what we're doing. It's going to totally change." And this is something he said 15 years ago,
Yep,
you know,
yep.
and
And
it
I
totally
remember,
has.
well, I remember being at the seminar with Steve. We talked about Blue Marlin together, with Gene and Bubba, and I had to go to the bathroom. So I finished my thing and I go to the bathroom. So I'm taking a leak, and some two guys come in and they're like, "Oh, I can't believe that guy. How stupid is that? Sonar? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard." And I just hear them, right? They're like, "That'll never fucking work around here." And I'm like, I'm I know how good he does with it, and I fished with Anthony for a long time, and he's really good at it. And that was the sonar days. That wasn't the Omni days.
Yeah,
The sonar was remarkable. I mean, we won a lot with it, and watched Steve win a lot with it. And if you didn't have one, you're at a disadvantage. And then so I didn't say a word, but I was like, oh, nobody. This was a long time ago, like you
yeah.
said, 15 years ago. But it was like, wow, it's going to take a while for these guys, and that for that much time, we're going to have an advantage, and we did for a long time. But there was only 6 years ago, the Omni showed up in Kona, and couple guys had them, and we didn't know they had them, and then they're crushing. And now it changed. Everyone
It's
has one.
again, I still remember doing 16 knots and watching those boats pass me, man.
Yeah,
Shoveling coal in my steam engine.
yeah. Get your paddle out, fly. Help
Listen,
this thing go.
I'm going back to my Cuban roots on my raft,
uh,
whatever it takes. Hey, before I forget, you touched on it, and it was one of those things I really want to talk about. Um, but I wanted to wait towards the end of it. I wanted to get some of the stories first so people understand what has transpired to show this accomplishment, which was the fact that you were inducted into the IGFA Captain's Hall of Fame, which is a huge honor. Um, I'd really like to talk a little bit about that because this is not just the IGFA Hall of Fame. You get voted in by your peers, and it's a huge thing.
it really is an honor that I wonder, what I do to deserve that.
I,
And
I can give you 2 hours worth of conversations to tell you why you deserved it.
well, I just fished a lot of places and had a lot of good mentors, a lot of good examples out there. Bobby Brown fished here on a merit, and it was like something I saw as a kid. And I just I just said, man, one day I want to merit and I want to be like him. And then it evolved. I grew up seeing, these amazing boats and guys that could take care of these boats, and I just always dreamed of having a merit. And you know, I ended up getting one, and then running into Pete changed everything. And then I was able to meet all Pete's network, and that network is right at the top of all the top anglers in the world. I met Mike Benitez and all these famous guys through Pete. And once you fish hard for them, and you don't realize what's coming up, or you think it's hard at the time, but now that I look back, I was like, wow, what a amazing time. and it wasn't easy. We're mates and we're working our guts out, and you know, getting there on our own, buying our plane tickets, getting there with our bag, hoping we didn't get kicked out. I mean, things like that. Just funny. Just traveling with in a bag for 10 years was a really cool thing. And once the fishing was so good for a while for me, everywhere I went, the timing was right. We catch a bunch. And then 98 came in that one hard season in Madeira, even though I was surrounded by great people, me, Barkey, Stewart, Charles, just, we're just like, what happened? You know, and we just thought we were going to ride that wave forever in Madeira. And it was such a great place to be. And when that fell short, I got homesick. So then, so at the time, 98, when I was trying to get back home, I was just too homesick to stay on the road. And I hit a couple tough trips. We went to North Carolina for bluefin and they didn't come. And then I go to Madeira, they didn't come. And I'm like, all right, maybe that's it. Maybe I had a good run, but all the fish that all those granders that I weighed with Pete and all these nice fish we caught and weighed in Madeira, okay, that's good enough. Let's maybe refocus. So Tracy Melton said, "No, you're not. You got to come to Cabo." And I'm like, "No, I'm not coming this year. I'm burned out. I'm finally had it." And Anthony said, "No, you're coming." Anthony said, "So we're sending you your ticket." I'm like, "No, I'm not coming." He's like, "Oh, bullshit, you're coming." And so I end up in Cabo, and I see everybody. And once I was there, I was like really excited and happy to be fishing again. And I mean, I just finished in Madeira, just got home to Kona. I was like, oh yes, I'm home, but I had to leave to go back. And so I was really thinking about doing something else and fishing on the side. And we got second in the Bisbee together. So all of a sudden, my vision changed a little bit. I think that was one of the key fish that I feel like changed a lot because I saw a potential in that team and I didn't want to give that up. And then I was focused on getting started here in Kona. And we found the Northern Lights was for sale in 98. And one of my favorite favorite anglers, just a really cool guy that I was lucky enough to meet with Pete. Terry Foley bought the Northern Lights and we got started here. And not soon later, I mean, soon after I settled in with Elizabeth here, she moved to Hawaii and we got married. And, you know, I started a family here in Kona because I could be in one place and not travel so much. So I was kind of burned out on the traveling and had to settle in. And I did and really enjoyed my time and kind of was getting my dream of having a merit here started. And it was just amazing to be home and get started. And the boat was pretty run down at the time. And we just had to keep rebuilding, redoing, strip the tow rail, do this, do that. And we had all these projects in between charters and slowly the boat got nicer, nicer, nicer and repowered and did this and that. And we just I had great mates along the way, that helped me catch a lot with it. And the key fish that I think that really changed my whole career was we caught a grander on the Northern Lights. And I didn't know that that was what I was going to set out to do, but I had weighed three with Pete and caught five more that we released that they were big granders. They weren't like, and they don't kill them all there anymore. And sometimes the anglers make the call, like Mike Benitez, we caught him a grander. He said, no, I don't want to kill it. And two guys that season caught 1,100 pounders that we didn't kill, but in the 3 seasons I fished with Pete, we weighed three, and then I weighed two in Madeira, and so the most significant catch was here in Kona, on the Northern Lights. In 2000, I got we got 11-15,
Wow.
and that was the three different ones. Three Atlantic, Pacific, and Black. And all of a sudden, I was like, I wonder if anyone's ever done that before. Weighed them, and I don't think so. And then I told you a story about Ken Corday. He had his tart tournament here, and he was one day away. They switch anglers, five anglers switch five boats, and on a Wednesday, he's fishing with me on a Thursday. So Wednesday was his friend Brent. He caught a he got a 1075 on that in the tournament, and that completed two slams of the three. So those are those are pretty, I think, the most significant things I can think of that would be unusual, but to be chosen to be in this family of Tommy Gifford Award winners is just such an honor. Um, and I think that the captains here that I learned so much from are far more qualified than me, for it. But I feel like maybe this grander trio thing, maybe it took a kid from here to travel and hit the road and then run into the right people and time the fishing right. And I just love fishing. And the grander chase was what I did for 10 years. And when I moved home, being a little burned out on the trophy hunting, I just enjoyed the ahi fishing and the bottom fishing. And I tell my mates that being a troller is not being a fisherman. You're being a troller. It's one facet of fishing that you're good at, but you need to learn how to fish. You need to put the worms on the hook. You gotta, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
get those baits rigged right so they swim. And a kid from Kona puts, when I'm talking about myself, I go with Pete and I put, I'm used to putting four lures out or putting two kings out and rigging an aku. That's all. That's my whole toolbox. And I go down there first year with Pete, and I got a fish sailfish at Dunk Island. And I'm like, holy shit, I got to have all this stuff ready, 12-pound test. It's all like, and I mean, we fished Innisfell first, which helped, but coming into Dunk, I mean, I'm praying that I keep up with what he's got planned, and we ended up winning. So we adjusted well. He was gentle with me, and he goes. I just remember he said, you got to speed up. You're really slow, and I'm like, oh, nobody wants to hear that, but
No.
speed it up, and was fast enough
I,
that
I
year.
I have to ask this question. How many times did you hear his ring finger hit on the tower leg? He loved when he wanted your attention, man. Tick, 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 tick. It's like, oh
Well, you
shit.
never wanted to see this. You didn't want that. You hear ding ding. You're like, oh,
Ooh,
we're gonna get it. Yeah,
that
but
ring, man, that ring, it doesn't matter. Anytime you're on a boat and you hear metal on metal, it's like, oh shit.
yeah,
It's funny because I'm going to be sleeping tonight and I'm going to hear that in my dreams. I'm going to hear metal on metal.
yeah, yeah.
But here, it's, you know what? I want to give you something else. I would like to say something else because uh, it, along your career, and it's been an unbelievable career, and you've caught a lot of fish, but there's more than just catching fish. You have given so much back to the industry, and that award speaks volumes to that. That because to be successful, to catch all those fish and to do all the things you've done, it's had to be a very successful two-way street. It's not just what you've caught, but what you've given back to the industry.
I appreciate that. You don't realize what you're doing back. You just do what you do, and then, if it's recognized, it's recognized. But I didn't really set out to be recognized for it, and I want to continue to do that and
Well, you
try to
got
find.
another 30 years, man. We've already discussed this.
Well, I got 10 good ones. I want to give it all I got, and I want to try to groom the next Matt Bowman and Tracy
Yeah,
Epstein, you know, and I got a really good mate right now, and I got high hopes for him. But I have high hopes for all of them, and I've had they graduate. I'm a charter boat, so we get paid. I pay them per day, and my anglers take care of them at the end of the day. But we don't have a ton of days to, and they get poached from me, or I call it graduation. They go up to the next level of the private boat job is less fishing but more pay, and
yeah,
that's where they're headed. And I never went for that. I always stayed charter so I could fish the days. I wanted to fish on charter boats because I wanted to meet more people, and I wanted to stay in that category because the private boats seem to sit more, and it'd be rare to see like what Barkey and Stewart did together. That's a private operation fishing harder than us.
yeah.
They're out there longer than us and focused, and that's everybody's dream. One day they get to do that, but then once it's over, where do you go? So if I charter fished, that's how I continued to fish the career. You have to have the days, you have to be out there to get the fish, and so I really enjoy the charters too, the people that come, from kids to whatever. There's a different mission involved. It's sometimes it's really super high level, and sometimes it's not, but we're able to adjust and enjoy it. I got a couple kids, local kids around that love fishing, and then I want to get them out, so they come with me on the charters, and my mates are really cool with them and let them do stuff, and they're little but they can handle, way better than I could. So I see that in them, and I let them come, um, and when they can, and
That's
that's
listen, that's the next gener. Those are the ones that are going to replace us.
yep, yep.
Those are the one. You know who I'm really enjoying, and I'm glad he doesn't post a lot about him on there. I'm enjoying watching Fletcher grow up, Kevin's son.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's fun.
Oh my
He's a
God, what
cool kid.
he's such a cool little kid. I remember when he was born
Yep.
and watching him. He wired, I guess it was a striped marlin. Was it last year?
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm enjoying that's one of the things I do enjoy about social media is my friends that live out in Hawaii or Australia, places that I don't get to see everybody every day. But when they post what their kids are doing,
yeah,
and it's like, ooh, he got bitten by the bug too, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It's important that, he's got a good dad that can take him out fishing and show him the ropes, and he's in a good place like Hanakahau where all
yeah.
you guys are keeping an eye on him, and I'm sure you'll give him Uncle Kevin will give him a fucking slip upside the head if he needs one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's starting to get to be where like the young man I got fishing with me now is only 18.
Oh, okay.
He's younger than my daughters, so
Wow.
he could easy be my son, by far. And then the next goal is to have them be. I want to have 10 top captains in the harbor by the time I'm done.
You're fucking halfway there, man. You're
They're
getting
they're
there.
and they're I'm so proud of what they've done. Like, Tracy Epstein he's got that game fisher that I took over. That was the Northern Lights at one time,
Okay.
and he's got it. And they put a lot of effort and money in that boat to get it to a whole nother level. But he's so smart and he's so good at developing the Omni that Kona is the dream spot to learn it or develop something here because the water's so clean and calm that I think that, some of these guys gotta be up there with the best at it because they're seeing them so far away because of the conditions we have here.
You
When I
have some
travel,
great
it's rough.
conditions.
It's rough, and then there's silt in the water. There's manta rays everywhere. It's hard to figure out what's what. Some places I go now, but over here, there's only marlin and ahi.
Yeah.
Seeing too much rubbish out there, and so if you're looking further and further, you're starting to see them further and further away. And I happen to have a Furuno 8L and a SY50. So I have two different ones. I got the Simrad and the Furuno. And the Simrad's potential to see further is amazing. And I know guys are getting the 10 and the boat I fish on in Cabo has a 10. So now I'm an old timer, bro. I don't want to study. I don't want to learn all that, but I got to learn three different machines now. So, I'm enjoying it, but I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward now, not back.
Oh,
It's
really?
crazy. I don't sorry about that. Um,
No, no, you're good. You're good.
I'm looking forward at the freaking screen and I'm not looking back at the lures.
That's so
So
weird.
it's weird, man. And I mean, if you're like stuck in your way, we never wanted to miss a fish when he showed up back there. And now we're looking at the screen and you know what? We hardly miss anything because we know they're not in front of us.
Yeah.
The machine's telling me, nah, there's nothing, don't worry about it. It's nothing back there.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, and then on the stinger we'll get surprised by something, but for the most part, he's not in front. Then we turn on him and I mean it's just so cool. Like the first time we saw one on the Spencer with my boss, he put all that money and time into that boat, and he bought the machine reluctantly. He didn't really know much about it, other than I said this is what we need, and I'm really surprised and happy he did it. We had the third one here, but it was in the boat and it wasn't being used because we were working on the boat in Oahu. But the first day we get to Kona with it, put it down, and I said, "Oh, there's one." So I turn over there, and then it comes on the up and down. Yeah, I mean, you know the whole routine, right?
Yeah.
Up and down. I go, okay. Hypothetically, now he's supposed to bite. Boom, got him on, and he's like, "Holy shit, that's remarkable!"
Yeah.
And everybody's looking at each other like, "Oh, that's crazy." So we go on to catch two more blues, three blues and two ahi with the machine. And so all of a sudden he's like, this is no fair. By the time we got in, he's like, this is no fair. We can't fish without this machine now. That was the first
Yeah.
day with it.
Aren't you glad you played with that Nintendo when you were a kid?
Well, that's before my time, bro. I didn't play with that. I was buying fishing reels and shit, fishing on the seawall down in Kailua. But
I
but
it truly is amazing. I was in what was it, Los Sueños, and they had just one person for the sonar. And literally, okay, here he comes. He's about 200 yards on the port side. Okay, he should be coming. He's coming up on the right. Should be the right long. Keep an eye on the dredge, but I think he's going to be on the right long. Bam!
yeah.
It's like what? So you start looking at it. It's like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Mike Cheater hung out here last summer, and he was fishing as an angler on
Uh-huh.
a ringer team, and he said that the the chef was the Omni girl,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, so she figured it out and could see the fish, and he just met them, I guess, and then she said, "Oh, you got one coming on the left," and he's like, "Really?" He's like, "It's right behind," like exactly what you said, something like
Yeah.
that. Like, "Oh, it's on the dredge. Oh, it's dropping back. Okay, he's on the left," and he's standing there ready. and got bit. He's like, holy moly! Like they can
It's
see them that good back there.
yeah. You know, have you ever spent some time talking to Tommy Francis on the Ultimate Lady?
Not yet.
Okay,
Not
so Tommy, uh, and listen, I've gotten to know Tommy really well over the last few years with the World Cup.
Yep, yep.
So when I was in Australia, I went down to the boat and hung out with him. I'm like, okay, so the story on the dock is you're the cat's ass with this sonar. I got to see your setup because the way he's got the bridge, but all the electronics are inside. You know, he's got his fishing bridge. So he's like, he has a camera looking at the sonar, and then he can watch the screen from out back. I says, okay, suppose, especially in between on the side of the moon where the tides don't match up for you on the reef, where you got to go start looking for them. That's when he gets that fucking Omni out there and starts looking.
Hmm.
And he's like, yeah, I can see him out 15, 1600 meters. I go, well, supposedly the story is you can tell the difference between a blue and a black. Is that true? He goes, 100%.
Oh, that's cool.
100%. I can tell you the difference if it's a blue or a black. And he explained it to me. I go, well, son of a bitch.
Hmm.
Son of
That's
a bitch. So
really cool.
when you're in between when you're on them shitty tides where the tides are in the morning or something, so you're out there wandering and looking, and he goes out on his fucking walkabout. That's what he's doing.
Wow, cool.
You know?
I
So,
often wonder what Pete would think about this whole thing, or if he would have got one for the Difkin, or what we would have been doing, you know?
you know, with
Because
Pete, I don't see him not getting one. I can see him complaining about it for a while. But then once he started using it and realized what a good tool it is, he, knowing him, he'd probably break the whole thing apart and figure out how it's sending the ping and then tweak it just right.
yeah,
Knowing
well,
him.
it would be cool to hear the commentary at the end of fishing of what he'd have to say about
Oh,
what he saw and stuff on that. And it's just those days it was just like unreal. We got new motors, like that was the gift of all time to get new motors. And now you got to get $100,000 machine laid on you. It's like how do you, you know, how do you
what's the
just
difference in price between the Omni and the Simrad? Is it
they're about the same now.
okay?
Um, so I had a choice between getting a 10, an 8, a 10, or a Simrad. And my boat's so small that the box and everything and the throw on the 10 was so tall that I couldn't fit it in. And
Okay.
at the time the 10 was 130,000, and then the Simrad was around 90. So 85 to
Uh,
90, you get your incidentals and this and that, and
no.
you get the sat compass and this and that, and then it never ends. But then you need a seakeeper for an
You're
omni.
in
Oh,
Kona,
oh,
man. You're in
wait, there's
fucking
another 40 grand.
Kona.
So I mean, I'm just joking, but it never ends. The Spencer needs a gyro, for the it needs a seakeeper because it in Oahu to use the Omni.
Oh, in a while.
You know,
Okay.
it's rough, and the 8 doesn't do good in the rough. It does. I'm sure guys have settings and stuff they figured out, but we're set for the flat calm here, and
No, I
we're
get
gonna
it.
have to when we fish over there with it, we're gonna have to adjust. But a seakeeper would fix that. And but the Simrad, the Simrad's really cool. It's got potential, and it's software, so it can be updated. And we've had a number of updates that work really well. And I I I'm seeing them good with it, and I know the potential of that thing, seeing them further even is more so. But I'm gonna need help with that, adjusting to
That's
that.
where them 18 and 16-year-old kids come in handy.
Yep. They're just one I'm the kind of thing where if one thing works, stick with it. And I've got something that's working for me right now, and I'm not out that far yet with it, but I'm seeing them. good and catching them.
But
So
what I'm happy to see it with competition, the price is going to start going down.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, you're talking about it. The Omni was 130, and you were able to get, even though there's bells and whistles you got to add to it. They're going to fight to drive the part. Listen, it's never going to be 5 grand.
no,
But
and
I
it's a
also
lot.
again, I'm old enough to remember when our VCR that we got for Christmas was like a $500
Yeah,
VCR back in the
yeah,
80s. Now you can't even fucking find them things.
yeah. Well, I think that the 10 came down to they're all the same now.
Okay.
They're 85, 90 for all of them, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
unless
I
like
don't, I'd either call Dominic or Mike Samuels, one of the two. I don't, all
but
I know is I'm happy to see it because what's going to happen is they're going to get cheap enough that you will start seeing them in charter boats.
yeah. And I mean the charter boats here have them. Like
Yeah,
and they do really good. I mean, like the hooked up and boats like that, they go every day, 2, 3 times a day, half days, and they got good captains on them, but they got the machine figured out and they nail them. I
that's
mean,
good, man.
it's good for charter fishing because they catch a lot of fish with the machine. And so you got charter boats doing well with it. I mean, I got one and I had to get one. I just couldn't find them. And I mean, that's a adjustment to come in, strike out, knowing that if you had the machine, you'd get them. And so what ends up happening is you got where a guy like me, little old school, I'm smart, but I got to adjust to these things. And I've got a guy that is a really good fisherman, but I got my Omni from him, Pete Giacalone, and
Okay.
he's unreal because he knows how to apply the thing to fishing. He's a good fisherman, so he's not just a smart electronics guy. He's really helped me a lot, and we had some development things that we're trying to do at the Simrad where it worked, but we felt like it could do better. And with his help and his support, he just gave me the confidence to keep trying different things and help me learn it, and that was really cool. He's a really good fisherman and he knows how to apply the stuff to it. And
That's amazing.
I think that we've developed so it's almost like if you're a good fisherman, you need to also have a somebody you can count on to help you with the electronics because it changes so fast, you know. And he's been a big help to me lately, so I appreciate that. We're gonna put new software in to even see even further soon.
How far are you seeing out right now? You got to be out at 1,500 meters, if
Well,
not further.
I'm not looking that far out on my eight I am, but on the
Okay.
sim so far I'm seeing them good at 1100, and
Okay.
so I'm just staying at that. And but I know guys are seeing them out at 2000, and so
Wow.
it's definitely possible, but like the combination of things that it takes to see them out there is different than what I have. And I don't want to, I know I can go back to what I got, but like there needs to be a ton of fish around to practice with it. Like, you almost got to shoot them with what you know, then change to the settings to shoot them again. And if they're not there,
Then you
you got
know
to
the settings
quick
off.
to see if you see them. And once it's set, then you're set. But some of the stuff's new to me, and so until I get something that works on my boat, it's a lot of trial and error. I mean, at the beginning, I was wondering like, what did I do? I mean, because the eight was set with Ross, my buddy Ross Finlayson gave me his settings for the eight. I put them in, and it worked right away. But it hasn't been so easy with the Simrad because I didn't have any friends that had something that worked for them that I could use. Because most guys have bigger boats. Their boats are 65 feet or whatever, and I got a 37. So it was like an adjustment. The machine doesn't work the same on a big boat as it does on a small boat. So just you can't it's so sensitive. I think that you need to adjust for your own particular boat. That's what I've gathered so far. The noise is the noise filters are different on each boat. And some boats are just the way that it's installed through luck and some skill and where it's positioned and how the boat trolls with the motors it's got. I mean, there's so much to it. What props you got? Like maybe you can get rid of the noise by having different props.
Oh,
And
wow.
you drive yourself crazy like out there when the guys are turning and you're not seeing them. You're like, what the hell am I? But you still got to be 2,000 feet away from them.
Yeah.
Still got to fish well. You know, that's the thing. Oh, just because you have the machine doesn't mean you're going to be in the right area. You know,
You
I
still got
told
to
you
look
I was out of
for them.
position. I was out of position the day those guys caught 10. They were, 7, 8 miles away from me and they nailed them. And I didn't know.
Oh,
And, but 8 mile, the machine doesn't see 8 miles away. So you still got to be over there. You know,
you
you
got to
know,
get over there. Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Being in a position is, yeah, you're 100%. And sometimes you're in a position that you're doing good and you're happy, but you don't realize if you were just 1 mile over, you'd be getting double as many.
It's true.
I Listen, I was talking with somebody the other day, the day that we caught 120 sails in Isla Mujeres, nobody called us. Nobody.
Hmm.
Because everybody was catching like 40 and 50.
Wow.
But we were just like a mile away, and it was like the complete faucets were turned on. Nobody, we were backing around, they were backing around, everybody was backing around, but we were seeing twice as many. Fuck. That day, I bet you I saw 1,400 fish that day.
Wow.
Yeah. Listen, I've held you for a while. I know you got to get your day started. Um, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, what's your website so
It's
they know how to find you?
fishingnorthernlights.com. And the best way is text me, my number's on my website. And texting me is better. I get so many emails that if you really need to get in touch with me, that's the best. Call me or text me, and then we can put some stuff together.
All right.
I'm still.
Uh, Kevin, hold on right there. Everybody, first of all, thank you, Kevin, for being here. I really appreciate all the stories. Everybody's who's listening, thank you so much for spending your time with us today and send some love Kevin's way if you're out there on the Big Island. For if you want to go hunting and fishing, a little combo and cooking. I didn't know that too. So, all right, everybody who's listening, thank you so much, and we will check you guys later.